Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Daily Distinction. Really glad you're here and watching, and it's great to be here. Looking forward to a big old weekend and excited about having a great weekend, and hope you got that ahead of you, whether you're watching live right now as we are on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and live now on LinkedIn. So wherever you're watching, I'm really glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. Got an interesting topic to talk about for just a couple moments today. And that is part of what it takes to deliver the ultimate customer experience. I've got something to show you here. And Brian, here you go. Coffee cheers. I got mine right here in my Distinction Summit mug that I got going on. So good to have that. Hey, Darcy, always great seeing you. Happy Friday to you and Fishers. Glad you're there. Scott, my friend, it's so good to see you again. Great seeing you. And thank you, Ted. You know, I think I mentioned to you on one of our calls that I miss doing this. So it's good to be doing it again. There was a manager in the music business that I know very well. And one of his acts was saying, you know, that how jealous and envious they were of some of these bands that have reunited and gone back out on the road, and how much money they're making and all the things that they're doing in the reunion tour. And this band had never broken up. And their manager said, "Boys, they'll never miss you if you don't go away." So that was not behind this, but I was reminded of that. So it's good to go away every once in a while. Some of you probably wanted me to go away a little quicker than what I did. Hey, I got something really cool to show you, and we'll be talking about this next week on Daily Distinction as well. But this is the pre-release, the pre-edition copy of the brand new book, Ultimate Customer Experience. And this paper is not how it'll be actually printed, but I did something different this time. And thanks so much to my incredible publisher, Jonathan Merck, with Forefront Books, which is an imprint of Simon and Schuster. Just the best publisher ever. He's just fantastic. Notice what it says there at the top too. Designed for the post-pandemic marketplace. We took a look at what do we need to be doing as we relate to customers, whether it's B2B or B2C, and what will help you deliver an ultimate customer experience. And so we don't have a absolute precise release date, but man, I'll tell you what, there's something about, you know, it's laid out, getting the book in your hand and the text in your hand. It's really pretty exciting. So, we're going to talk about one of the things from the ultimate customer experience. And I love how they laid it out too. I mean, that's something that you never know what's going to happen as an author. You just trust your publisher. Man, I did something different with this book, and that's part of what I want to share with you today. Iconic and Create Distinction. Those books are kind of written for entrepreneurs, leaders, CEOs. And one of the things that we talked about, my publisher and I, that we talked about, is that, for example, if you've got a credit union, the CEO of the credit union would read Iconic, might get copies of Iconic to branch managers, but it wasn't a book that you would give to everybody, you know, the tellers at the credit union and the loan officers at the credit union. And what they challenged me to do was to write a book that everyone, not just the leaders, but, you know, the teller should read this about the ultimate customer experience, and the frontline folks should be there. And I've always kind of thought of myself as kind of a frontline folk. So it was a different writing challenge to put something together that, that would be for everybody. Kind of like what my friend Mark Sanborn did with the Fred Factor, a book that would be there for everybody. So, hey, Brian, we'll get the copy to you so hot off the press your fingers will burn when this thing is released. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Ron. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you, Ted. I'm really excited. We'll get you updated on where we are in that process, because one of the great things is the publisher is somebody I worked with for a long time. One of the interesting things is, because they are part of Simon and Schuster, it's not like a self-published where you can turn it around instantly. So we'll have more on that. But anyway, I want to talk to you about one of the things in the book. And some of you heard me talk about this before, but I really got it in the book this time. And that is, when it comes to customers, don't make it right. Shock you? When it comes to customers, Customers do not want us to make it right. Customers want us to get it right. They want us to get it right. And in too many organizations and in too many places where you and I are doing business, it's kind of like, oh, well, we messed that up. Well, here's, airlines were doing that. I haven't flown that much, obviously, recently with the pandemic. But when I was traveling so much all the time, I noticed that airlines would do that constantly. Hey, you make a mistake. Here's 1,000 miles, for your frequent flyer account. I'd rather have the reservation work out right. There was a restaurant that Tammy and I went to here in Las Vegas, and it was a horrible experience. I mean, the meal was late and it was cold, and they said the manager was too busy to come talk to us. And I mean, it was a horrible experience. And so then they offered us dessert. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, hey, I like dessert, right? But I would rather had a better meal, and I would rather have better service, and I would rather have, I'd rather have them do it right. I didn't want them to make it right. I was there to eat, and I wanted them to get it right. And the same is true, if you rent a car and the car breaks down, if you buy a computer and it won't power up, or you're constantly having to reboot. I mean, that's what we want as customers. So it's what we have to deliver to our customers, regardless of what it is and regardless of what we do. So how do we do that? And I want to suggest it begins that we scrutinize everything to make it perfect for the customer. This isn't just a motivational thing, in the typical way of motivation, right? Of, hey, get out there and it really is granular. I mean, this is hard work. This is not easy. We've got to take a look at every step along the way and find out where there is friction in what we're doing in terms of how we're dealing with customers. And we've really got to break it down into all of the elements. I've mentioned that when I worked and did a project with Fairmont Hotels, that was part of their success with this program at the Scottsdale Princess was, a conversation about what is the ultimate experience at the front desk? What's the ultimate experience with housekeeping? What's the ultimate experience when you first go in your room? When you break it down and you look at each one of those pieces along the way, that's how you get to the totality of the ultimate customer experience. So we have to scrutinize everything in the process, break it down. And Jerry, you're exactly right. From the customer's perspective, what is that? I mean, not what's the ultimate front desk experience for us. Hey, the ultimate front desk experience is we turn it around quickly, right? But the ultimate experience from the customer's viewpoint is something very, very different. Hey, here's my friend Eric. How you doing, man? Oh, Mr. Awesome, Eric Swanson in the house today. Good to see you, my friend. Glad you are here. I haven't been to San Diego for a while, but I hope when I get back over there next time that we get a chance to connect and get together. So that's great. Brian, you make a great point. It's amazing the lengths that a business will go to cover up a lack of performance and integrity and make the customer wrong for their shortcomings. Yeah, I mean, that was the experience when Tammy and I had the bad experience at the restaurant. It was kind of like, well, you should have known it was going to take a while. You should have. There's one cool thing. We had a gift certificate. We went to Morton's here in Vegas, and one of the really cool things that they do at Morton's is the waiter will come over, like when they're taking your order, and will say, now, I'm going to come and I'm going to offer you dessert. However, one of the things you need to know is that the chocolate souffle takes about 25 minutes to prepare. So if you want to think about it and then order it, please know ahead of time it's going to take that long. And if you'd like for me to place that order so that it's ready when the instant you finish your meal, I can do that too. Now, notice just that very small conversation does a couple things. Number one, it gets you thinking about dessert as you're placing your dinner order, which is interesting. Most places don't do that. They wait till you're done, then bring out that cart. Secondly, it prepares you that Hey, if you want to wait and order it, it's fine. In other words, he's not telling you that when you order it, and now you've got to know that you got to sit there. You realize that, okay, it's going to take 20 minutes, and if I order it, it's setting expectations, which is incredibly important too. So whether it's a restaurant or whether it's, I got a bunch of speaker buddies, or 3 speaker buddies that you guys know about, and we get together on a Zoom call every week, and 2 of the 4 of us will smoke a cigar while we're on the call. I sit outside and smoke a cigar, and Larry Winget sits outside and smokes a cigar. And I ordered cigars online. And one of the things that I thought was really, really cool about it was it gave you all the options for delivery. Now, that sounds like a very, very small thing, but in a way, it's a really big thing, right? I've told the story here before, but it bears repeating. My buddy John Howard in Indianapolis, when he decided to retire, he bought a place near the Indianapolis Motor Speedway because he's such a big IndyCar fan. So he can literally like walk out of his house, walk over to the Speedway if people are there practicing or whatever. It's just really cool. However, as you can imagine, there's 2 days that traffic just shuts the whole area down. And that's the day of the Indy 500 and the day of the NASCAR race, the Brickyard. So John was looking to buy something locally, and he gave the local stores first chance. They didn't have it in stock. Can't remember what it was he was buying, but he went to different places locally. They didn't have it. And so then he just orders it on Amazon, and they've got it. He's Prime member, 2-day delivery. And he orders it on like Friday. And then he realizes, wait a minute, Sunday's the race. There's no, the streets are blocked off. There's no way. But he doesn't think anything about it. But Amazon has set the expectation it's going to be 2 days. Sunday, race day, doorbell rings. Guy standing there with his Amazon package and a bicycle. And John's blown away. He's like, what, I can't, how'd you get through? He said, well, you're promised 2-day delivery. So what Amazon did is we've got a semi in the parking lot of a grocery store a couple of miles away, and we get 2 or 3 packages, whatever we can hold, and we get on our bicycles and ride it in because we promised it. Now we gotta deliver it. Now, not only is that cool that they thought about it, and in fact, most customers that were in that specific area would probably go, it's race day, but they prepared for it. They scrutinized everything to make it perfect for the customer. It's really, really important. Ryan, the return on inaction doesn't lie for customers who simply don't come back. Yeah, exactly right. I mean, we've talked about ROI here before, and ROI can stand for return on investment, but it can also stand for return on inaction. If you don't do anything, and there you go, customers don't come back. Here's my friend Barry Banther. Hey, Barry, it was great being with you here at the National Speakers Association Conference, and congratulations on your term as chairman and all that you did to make NSA get through this incredibly challenging and difficult time. And there you go. Control the last mile, and you control the customer experience. And that's what they did. It's what Amazon did. They controlled putting it on a bike and control that last mile. You are exactly right. You're exactly right. So, and I just want to make certain to thank you once again for all that you did to help the organization through a challenging time and make a difference. And man, you talk about the power of one individual. That's what Barry had on our industry association. So it's incredible. Hey, one last thought before we're finished up for the day. And that is, what if you don't get it right? And okay, we've said customers don't want us to make it right. They want us to get it right, but we're all human. We all fail. What happens if we don't get it right? Well, it's one of the things I talk about in the book and go into detail on it, but 2 things I want to suggest to you real quickly. Number 1 is we humbly apologize. Our customers deserve that. I mean, if we didn't get it right, we first of all have to say we're sorry because we've inconvenienced them, and we have to mean that sincerely, not just, hey, you want free dessert? Sorry, I mean, no, and I think we're better off if we ask them, what can we do, so that they set the parameters. I don't have the data in front of me, but there was a survey done several years ago, and what they found was that many times organizations offered more to make it right than what the customer really wanted. They wanted an apology. They wanted to know you're going to fix the problem. They wanted to know that they were being heard, but they didn't necessarily want it free or want a huge discount or whatever. I mean, Randall, you nail it right there. Yeah. Um, listen. Yeah. Listen. Yeah. There we go. I love this. You know what the acronym customer stands for? Train with Scott. I would not be opposed to that. That is good. You're right, Brian. If customers don't feel heard, it's one of the biggest indicators that they'll give you another attempt, right? I mean, if they feel like you've listened to them and that you care, it sounds, sometimes we say that it sounds so corny, but it's really true. Here's the other thing you got to do. You got to, again, it goes back to that scrutiny. How do you fix the process? There was something that fell apart in the process, or there's an error in the process. Don't just placate the customer. It's important to do that, to make sure the customer's taken care of. But you got to dig deeper into what created that problem in the first place. Because for every customer that complains, I'll guarantee you there's somebody that just thought, well, I'm not going to say anything. They won't listen to me anyway. By the way, that's not just a reflection on what they perceive about you. It's a reflection on how they've been treated as a customer in the totality of their experiences. Right? I mean, customers, just like if we enter a new personal relationship, we bring the baggage of previous relationships. It's just how we are. Hey, the same's true as customers. If I've been mistreated by other organizations, how do you think I'm going to feel about you? It's not your fault. It's what I'm bringing into the process. So what we have to do is, focus on it. Brian used to tell me all the time, every day, the point of any business is to create and keep a customer. Yes, right. I mean, Eric, I've heard Brian say, we're talking about Brian Tracy. I've heard Brian say, we're all in manufacturing, and people go, no, we're in service, we're in this, we're in that. No, we should all be in the business of manufacturing customers. I've always loved that line. That is such a great point. So there we go. It's talking about the importance of what we are with customers. They don't want us to make it right. They want us to get it right. And I hope you get a wonderful weekend. I'll be back on Monday with the next edition of Daily Distinction, now at the new time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. I look forward to catching up with you then. Have a great, great weekend. Thank you for watching. And by the way, if there's other topics you'd like for me to address, please, just drop me a note here on social media. I look forward to getting to them. It means the world to me. You take time out of your day to watch this. I look forward to talking to you again Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next Monday, this coming Monday on the next Daily Distinction.